Okay, you guys, so as you can tell by the title of this video, I will be going through some characters and bots that I want to see in the Overgear subline from Takara. Now we know Overgear is a subline that Takara is doing by themselves, and it's like redesigning characters but put through sort of, I guess it looks like a masterpiece engineered and styled lens, but we really have to see more finished prototypes, images, and reviews on these figures before we fully go into that, but it seems like they're masterpiece type figures. And with this list here, I'm going through some more like, I wouldn't say like unknown characters, but characters that's not, Optimus, Bumblebee, Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, stuff like that. I'm going more into characters that we really need to see figures made for them and designs redone that haven't seen figures in 15, 20, 30 years. So I'm just going to be going through, I don't know, let's say 5 here. So the first one here that I want to talk about is Thunderblast. We last saw her as a deluxe class 20 years ago in 2005 in the Cybertron cartoon. And her character is kind of spunky. She's very erratic, and, she's a fun character. And I think her design, having that big, huge missile launcher weapon, and then she's got the gun on top of the boat mode, and her design with that cape that's made up of like half of the boat. I think it's a really interesting design that I think would fit the Overgear aesthetic really well, especially once they modernize it and put it through that Overgear lens. That would make for a really fun figure. I really think bringing in a fembot Decepticon like Thunderblast that frankly deserves more representation would be a really fun way to kind of spice up the Overgear line a little bit in a way that I think is really needed. We're getting Blackout, which is kind of inspiring my picks for this list, so why not delve into something like a Thunderblast? And this next one here is, give me a Beast Wars depth charge representation in the modern era. Takara's taking their sweet time with the Masterpiece. Hasbro's taking their sweet time with the mainline figure. Third party's got one coming out, but that isn't dropping until like a year from now. So it would be a perfect opportunity to see in Earth mode, or maybe even in Animal mode. I don't know what the constraints for Overgear would be, if they're just doing vehicles or if it's animal stuff as well. But I think it would be more interesting if they did depth charge as a vehicle of some sort, like that. I think it was it a BotCon figure all those years ago? We got a lot of Earth modes and Cybertronian modes for the Beast Wars characters as exclusives over the years at conventions. So I think sort of bringing that energy back over at Takara especially would be pretty interesting to see, since I'm pretty sure we haven't really seen that from Takara. It's mostly Hasbro side of things where we get those type of releases from Beast Wars characters, and we haven't seen those kind of releases in a long time, I'm pretty sure. So just kind of spicing things up. He's a character that a lot of people love, a lot of people want to see get made for new figures in modern times, so it would just make sense to kind of pluck him. And then, there you can't do a depth charge without his arch nemesis, Rampage. And this one would be really cool. Oh, I didn't even pick the mode for a depth charge yet. I think he would work best as maybe like a submarine type character. I think that would be cool to see, and it obviously fits with him being a manta ray in Beast Wars, an aquatic animal, so that would be really nice. But for Rampage, obviously, I think the best case scenario for him would be some big hulking tank, and just go full, pun intended, Overgear on this guy, and just make that tank mode cool, and, incorporate the treads and the inner workings of the tank and the barrel and everything into the robot mode in a way that really makes him a fiery, crazy robot design. There would be a lot of potential for a tank mode Overgear Rampage. Like, please do that, Takara. And then number 4 here, Takara, I know you guys are slacking on the Masterpiece version of this character. Hasbro, there really hasn't been a definitive version of this guy since the Reveal the Shield Deluxe from 15 years ago. Jazz, come on. Let's get a new Jazz out there. Let's get a Masterpiece style Jazz out there since you're dragging your feet on the Masterpiece. It would be great. Make him, take some inspiration from the Reactivate design. Maybe take some inspiration from, I don't know, that his Unicron trilogy look from the BotCon figure, whatever that was, where you could make him like a souped up sports car with the rocket launchers over him, and you got the missile pod in the back that works as a thruster as well. Just do something wacky and crazy with Jazz where it's taking inspiration from all these iterations of the character, like what we see with that Overgear Ironhide and Blackout. I think that would make for a really interesting Jazz. Maybe give him the tentacle hands like the movie version, give him the shield cannon maybe, and do the retractable visor. There's a lot of different scenarios they could do with Jazz that takes inspiration and is an original design through that Overgear lens that we've seen with these two figures so far. So please, my guy Jazz, one of the main mascots of this channel, just do it, Takara, and my life, my wallet is yours. And the last character I want to talk about in this video is super random, but I'll explain why I picked this here. Energon Snowcat. So my first reasoning for this is, if you look at Ironhide's design, it's pretty obvious they're taking some design cues from his Energon interpretation. I wouldn't be surprised if the coloring of him in the final prototype of the figure takes inspiration from his Energon colors as well. But, I think going in line with that, I wouldn't be surprised if they pick other characters to kind of look like their Energon counterparts, or maybe even original characters from Energon, like Snowcat here. And plus, it would be a cool reference to the G.I. Joe vehicle. And, they could redesign him in a way that, he's already sort of like one of those military-type vehicles of some sort. I can't remember what kind, but, I'm no like military vehicle expert. But, it fits that Overgear motif that they're kind of going for, it seems like, with the military vehicles. And it would just be perfect to see Snowcat getting a new Overgear figure of all characters. Again, he's one of those characters that needs more representation. Hasbro seems to not want to do Energon in the main line right now, and I don't know how Takara would do a new Snowcat other than this Overgear subline right here. So I just think it would be a cool opportunity. It's probably not going to happen, but there's a slim chance, considering Ironhide takes some design cues from Energon Ironhide. So, but yeah, guys, that does it for the 5 characters that I want to see done in Overgear that I wanted to talk about in this video. Let me know down below, what are 5 bots that you guys want to see get redesigned and put into the Overgear toy line. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.